as Montana State tries to go for its first national championship since 1984.
Down in Dillon, kids can run, pass, and catch with an NFL athlete. Nothing is going to be as important as adding these stickers to the brackets in the next coming days. You ready? Let's do it. So before he could run in the blue and gold, bareback riding, goat tying, steer wrestling. We're going to have a lot of events here. I'm excited. It's my first ever rodeo. 12 teams from the Rockies to the Pacific Coast, all competing for a Big Sky Conference title. One of the things the Bobcats get to learn during this relaxing time is learning how to fly cast. So, Bruce, how is my form looking?
It's coming up like with a hand and coming through the ball, because to a ref, it doesn't look like a foul.
Top 2 teams in the state, both undefeated. What does a game like this mean for the Bozeman community? Reporting in Bozeman. Ethan Becker, NBC Montana Sports. Kason Conkle was a force for Manhattan this season, helping lead the Tigers to back-to-back appearances in the Class B state championship. But he was a new addition for head coach Wes Crott as the program's first rugby player.
We were excited to get him. We knew he'd bring that physical aspect to the game, you know, transitioning over from rugby to football. And so I feel like he's done a great job.
But the idea of rugby wasn't exciting at first to Conkle until he got the ball in his hands.
My mom told me I had rugby practice, and I was so mad. But I told her, okay, I'll go try it. So I went and tried rugby, and I just fell in love with that sport as well.
Conks is he's a phenomenal athlete. He's a phenomenal, a phenomenal player, all-round player.
J.D. Stevenson helped bring the sport of rugby to the Treasure State as the Chief Executive Officer of Montana Institute of Sport.
When we get to spring, other than track and field, which is a sport that we support and love, we really found that there could be a real need and market for youth rugby.
And even walked me through some of the ways football and rugby translate through passes.
You're doing the exact same motion, bring the ball back, and shooting it and finishing both your hands long towards your target. Good. Sweet.
And worked on both chop and axe tackles.
Yes, and you brought leg through. Awesome, mate. Brilliant. Yes, there it is. Good.
So those are like the basics you kind of teach for both football and rugby.
We try and bring a lot of football stuff into the sport so it's easily translatable. And then, our kids go back and can put those things into, guys like Harley and guys like Conks. They can be successful in the football field too.
But when it comes to the translation, no one knows it better than the players like Conkle.
I don't have pads on, so I have to tackle properly. So I think it's helped a lot with just tackling form and running the ball.
And wants to see rugby continue growing not only in the Gallatin Valley, but in the state.
I'm trying to get some of these Manhattan kids on the football team to come play rugby and just get the chance, especially the younger kids, because my team could use it, and I think rugby's grown as a whole just in Montana.
If we can be a part of that journey and give them an opportunity, that's all we're looking forward, and that's all we're really looking to do.
As it can help high school athletics, especially football.
Playing rugby and translating that over to football is great, so the more kids I think we could play, it would be awesome.
Reporting in Bozeman. Ethan Becker, NBC Montana Sports. Tyler Patterson is a staple of Montana State men's basketball for the past 5 years. But this season, he's not the only Snoqualmie sniper. I sat down with Patterson and Jabe Mullins as the lifelong friends reunite as Bobcats for their final collegiate year.
Mullins inbounds off the baseline to Tyler Patterson. He tries a 15-foot jumper, and it's good.
There is no deeper connection in the Big Sky this season than Montana State's Tyler Patterson and Jabe Mullins.
We can kind of see the connection that we had in high school kind of spark a little bit, and so it's sometimes I'll be on the drop cut and I'll be like, I know it's coming to me before anyone else is coming, just because all the reps we've had together.
It's a bond that stood the test of time both on and off the court, especially in other sports. And I have to ask, who's the better golfer?
I don't know.
No, T's for sure. No, he's definitely the better golfer.
But it's in the game of basketball where Patterson and Mullins' budding friendship blossomed. The two met in the 3rd grade and saw instant success with each other on the court.
I heard of him through, one of my friends from elementary school. And then, it was this redhead hooper. So I was like, I got to get to know him because I love hoops too.
I remember we won the Vegas tournament in 4th or 5th grade or something. And then me and T we'd always ride together. So we brought this big trophy into the casino.
Their winning ways continued throughout their youth to Mount Si High School in Snoqualmie, Washington, as the duo captured the Class 4A state championship as seniors in 2020.
It was like not a good program before we got there, but I would give a lot of credit to our high school coach. He kind of paved the way, and we kind of had easy jobs.
But just like the COVID-19 pandemic, the two put some distance between themselves. Patterson began his MSU career, while Mullins had 2-year stops at both St. Mary's in California and Washington State. But the friends kept in touch.
We'd, work out together once we both, we were both back. It was just let's get in the gym. So, yeah, I'd say that really helped keep us, together.
Yeah, and we'd always be watching each other's games, too.
Yeah.
Both found success at their respective schools, reaching multiple NCAA tournaments. And when Mullins entered the transfer portal a second time, MSU and Patterson came calling.
When he was like, yeah, I might come on a visit, I was like, oh, if we get you on a visit here, it might be wrapped. So it was good to get him out here, see, what it was like. And then, once he came out here, it was, done deal.
Even after almost 4 years apart, their chemistry doesn't miss a beat. The two see it as an opportunity to catch up and continue to grow their bond.
We had like 4 years off from not being at school together, but then this year we've kind of been able to see each other's interests that we kind of picked up over the last few years. So I think it's been really cool.
As Patterson and Mullins spend one last season playing the sport that created their bond. The Montana State men's basketball team is on the road this week with their next game in Bozeman next Thursday versus Weber State. That does it for sports. In Bozeman, Ethan Becker, NBC Montana Sports. It didn't take long for Michael Swan Jr. to find his stride when it came to track and field.
I always go with my dads on runs, on bike rides. My family was very active, and it was around middle school when I signed up for middle school track, and that's where I fell in love with the sport.
Michael's parents, though, knew he had the family gift when he was even younger.
The track meets would get over, and here's this little red-headed kid out running around the track, and people would go, who is that kid? He hasn't stopped for like 45 minutes. It's like, that's another Swan kid.
The Swan family has a long history of track runners, especially at Montana State. 3 members of the Swan clan competed in Bozeman, including Michael's father, Michael Swan Sr. So for the 3-sport athlete at Manhattan High School, running for the Bobcats was always on Michael's mind.
Ever since I was little, I always want to go to MSU. I want to follow in the Swan family legacy.
Although the Swan name carries some weight around the Montana State program, Michael Swan Jr. still had to earn a spot if he wanted to join this historic Bobcats team. You ready? Let's do it. So before he could run in the blue and gold, he first had to walk.
I was at a visit to Montana Tech, and I remember sitting in the car parking lot because I got there a little bit earlier.
I said, hey, Mike, check your email. I said, you never know, but just check your email on your phone real quick.
I received an email from Lyle Weiss telling me that, hey, you left a pretty good impression on me and all the rest of the coaches, and we want to give you a walk-on spot.
It was just a real special moment, a real special time.
Now, Michael Swan Jr. is on scholarship and is one of the top Bobcats for the 400-meter dash. But his dream became a reality in a different event.
He was warming up for the 200. He comes jogging down the front stretch, and he looks up at Nancy and I. He goes, I guess I'm running the 200 meters.
The Manhattan kid that only wanted to run track at Montana State shattered the school 200-meter record with his family watching from the stands.
It meant the world. I mean, I couldn't imagine anyone else who I'd rather want in the moment when I broke that record than my family. I mean, it was just a true blessing from God that they were there at the moment.
And the Swans know this is only the beginning for Michael with his love and passion for being a Bobcat.
He still has a lot of gas in the tank.
The sky's the limit. I know my coaches, they know I can run faster. They know I can do better. And so I just want to keep paving that legacy for my name and my family name.
As Michael Swan Jr. carries on the family name while creating a name for himself at Montana State. Reporting in Bozeman, Ethan Becker, NBC Montana Sports.